King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. What's going on with everybody? Whew. It's early. It's early. Welcome to Kush Equilibrium. I am your always smoking host. Oops, great. Oh man. Okay. Still trying to wake up. I'm a little groggy. Got us a nice little show though. Got us a nice little show lined up. So always I appreciate y'all coming in here for another smoke break. You know what I'm saying? Kind of pulled myself away from considering myself a reaction channel. This is a smoke break, bro. We talk hip hop. That's it. Nothing too major. Two different topics too. One got inspired from a topic I seen somewhere else. So the first topic, I'm actually reacting to that channel. Because it was something it wasn't their main topic, but I felt it was an interesting one. They just kind of glossed over it. It was, like I said, it wasn't the main topic. And then the second one, we'll get to it. But the first one we're gonna react to is Rap Latte. They're originally talking about the Clips rollout and how that was going, and the fact that it looks more like a traditional style rollout. But then they changed up a little bit, and that's what I want to focus on. Pull that down a little bit more so y'all can hear me. Okay. All right, yeah, that'll work right there. I hope that ain't too crazy. So let me throw these ears on, get the screen shared real quick. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So while we smoking, drinking, chilling, and doing all the stuff we do in here, we keep the YouTube police out of our business. You know what I'm saying? What you smoking, what I'm smoking, what I'm drinking, whatever the case may be, it ain't none of their business. So if you can hit go on and smack that like and share and all that other good stuff, subscribe. It'll be dope. That'll be dope. Subscriptions are slid a little bit, but you know what? You pulling in it's appreciated. So let me get this screen share real quick. Yeah, like I said, this is courtesy of Rap Latte. So as you see at the top, up here in the corner, new Clips rollout is what the conversation was. Now, what I found is a nostalgic type of conversation, and it got me to thinking. So before I can ask the question, y'all got to know what they said. So let's go.
I miss the mixtape era or the mixtape thing, and going to the corner on Friday night and getting the new DJ Clue CD or the new Ron G or Doo-Wop or whoever. And Drama, of course, DJ Drama. And like, it was a special space because MCs would try things that they wouldn't try otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd hear Raekwon or Fat Joe or Jay-Z or whoever, Busta, whoever, trying a new style and really going for it and like pushing something new, maybe with a new song or maybe with just a feature on a song or a multi-rapper song that they're trying something. And it was like really exciting to hear the established guys and the newer guys on these sort of tracks and like performing for the dedicated underground fan who's like, because there's no promotion. You just had to know where to go to get these things. There was no.
You went to the barbershop. You had the mixtape guy That's like the real mixtape hand-to-hand era, right? And that was beautiful. And it was people rapping over other people's beats. That was, but I honestly loved when mixtapes went to Dat Piff and online too, because it started becoming more frequent. Like every fucking week, somebody was dropping a mixtape, and if you were a hip hop fan, you knew you were collecting all of them. Like the new guys that nobody knows, and then the popular people. You listen to everything.
Yeah. I mean, both of those eras for sure, right? I just think it's just a different medium, but the same era of music that was for people who really love the sport the most. It was outside of your personal release schedule most of the time, right? It wasn't part of your album. It wasn't that you sent a single from your album to the mixtape. It was that, you know, Ron G or Doo-Wop or whoever called you and was like, I got a beat. It was what Khaled does, but on a smaller scale, right?
Right.
Right.
I want to address Sperry, and she's coming at us. Look at this. Y'all miss buying tapes and CDs out of trunks and swap meets? Yes. That shit was amazing.
Yes. And not the method. Like you had to go to a swap meet, or I'm at the corner of DeKalb and Flatbush, you know, or if you're in Harlem, you're on 125th Street, you get them on West 4th Street, 6th Avenue sometimes. But like they were there because they were outside of the commercial system. This was not going to be in Tower Records because this was not a traditional release. So artists would get looser and get realer and say iller shit or try different styles. And that relationship with the fans, I loved. That's what I loved about it.
Yup. It's the free that you felt their freedom, you felt the connection. It's like the equivalent of an artist having a podcast or following their Instagram nowadays, but way more artistic, because it was a direct relationship with your fan base. You kept them fed, and then when it was time to drop your commercial album, you had this whole fan base waiting for you to like top the mixtape. And a lot of times niggas didn't, and niggas hated your album because the mixtapes were better, right? So
sure.
And sometimes it was the reverse.
I wonder why it stopped. And I think partly what happened to DJ Drama and them was a huge, put a huge chill on the mixtape world, them getting arrested and shit. But I also think that the main part of this era exists before the internet, and the internet makes it impossible to have like a private corner of culture. So now, if you put out a mixtape and you had some hot shit, everybody would hear it. Well, that was not what the mixtapes were supposed to be, right? They were supposed to be a little more disposable, like a little faster. You weren't meant to hold on to them.
Yeah. So now I can bring out to the question. I was originally gonna ask, one of the questions was gonna be what really happened to the mixtape era. That might have been my favorite era. But once he mentioned the DJ Drama, I mean, we were talking about federal raids with DJ Drama. So I think that was really like the nail in the coffin. So there's no reason to really asking that. But hear me out. I feel like a lot of the artists that we have now would actually benefit if we were more in a mixtape era. If we were able to rewind a little bit and go back to the mixtape days, because one thing he mentioned that I never really thought about until right now is the mixtape provided a space to make being creative like the focus. It didn't have to be a hit. It didn't have to be a hit. This is underground, baby. This is You don't have to be a hit. It just gotta resonate with the streets. So it was that one thing that it was kind of like a public testing ground. You know what I'm saying? Either it worked or it didn't. And if it didn't, you really didn't hold it against them, because for one, the people who had mixtapes was music fans. Like, because you, like he said, you couldn't get this at no regular record store. We don't have swap beats where I live. So we had to go get it either from the strip mall or whatever hood liquor store outside. Somebody got everything. Now there was one record store, I can't remember the name of it. It was so long ago in my area, but actually it was two of them. But the difference between them and like a Sam Goody's, they were like little. The stores I'm thinking of were like little mom and pop record stores. They wasn't very big. They were small buildings. Like you might be able to fit 30 people in there at best. But they seem to have everything on time. You never went there and not found a specific record. So I think that's why they stayed around as long as they did. But other than that, yeah, you couldn't pull up and get the mixtapes anywhere. Like there was a dude, I know he had to make big dollars during the mixtape era in my area, because he had these, it's called like the Bedroom Boom Volume 1, Volume 2. I'm saying, when we talk about bedroom hits that can make some things happen, it was another dude on the east side of town. He had, when I say the street mixtapes, I'm talking about these were the songs, and the songs you would think the most diabolical street thug hood dude ever really listened to. This was his soundtrack. Like if Debo had a soundtrack, or Damon. Yeah, we'll go with Debo. If Debo had a soundtrack, this would be like his soundtrack. Like sliding through the hood on Demon all day. They wasn't busting your heads for him. You knew another one was gonna drop in another couple of weeks. It was dope. I miss it. I don't know if it also ties into like physically, you know what I'm saying, having or owning a particular thing, like to have that CD. I mean, I don't think we ever about to revert back to physical copies of nothing, but that was dope. That was dope back then. So that made me wonder, do you think these cats nowadays could benefit from having somewhere to go and be creative, but then with the album following a more traditional formula of the album? I don't want to say necessarily telling a story, because every artist can't tell stories, but having a unified ideology for how the album is supposed to sound from beginning to end. More attention, I think, will then be placed on song selection, song placement throughout the album, tempo of the entire album, not just a particular song. You can't just, we've seen it with Lil Wayne album, that he roller coaster, besides the bad production, he had bad song placement. Like, you can't have me in my feelings one minute, optimistic about the future the next minute, turned up on some street the next minute. That's too jaggedy. You gotta smooth out some of them edges. Smooth out some of them edges, baby. I think it, in my opinion, I think it to have a place to put all of these extra sounds, somewhere. Maybe we don't have all these different styles of rap now, like mumble rap. I feel like that's a mixtape thing. I think drill rap wouldn't be around if we had mixtapes. Drill rap wouldn't be like a genre. It would just be something that you would hear on a mixtape. Because to have to do a whole album in drill style, right? How much of that is about to go beat win charts, win awards, be all-time greats? That's what an album is supposed to be, striving to be. Every album you put out, you should be wanting it to be the greatest thing ever. But that's not the concept of drill rap. It's a peek into active street life. That's it. That's it, to a beat. It's a new way of some niggas telling their reality. That's it. It's the new version of gangster rap. It's the evolution of it. That's it. That's it. Instead of trying to classify it as something, we would, these artists who thrive in the drill rap culture would have somewhere to just put it there. It's a mixtape, boom. So if they get that all out and they actually want to have a real concept of an album, well, now they can put out an album. You know what I'm saying? Murder, Death, Kill from track 1 to 16 is not an album. It has to be something else in there. But let me know what y'all think. Can you, especially if you got like a specific person in mind that could really benefit from having somewhere else to put his or her creative whatever without being beholden to the rules of a traditional album and like, hey, that ain't go nowhere. Hey, that didn't sound the way I thought the album would sound. I don't understand the creative vision. Albums get critiqued so much harder than a mixtape. A mixtape, like, almost like, I don't want to say it's a throwaway because there's some mixtapes out there that are legendary, but it's like a scrimmage. It don't really go on your record like that. Think about all the and ones where cats got rocked and all this extra thing. It's a ooh moment, but it's not like really like it's on you forever. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me know what you think. Especially, like I said, if you got somebody like a specific artist that could benefit from somewhere to put their creative stuff, and then hopefully that helps them focus in just a little bit more conceptually on an album where the creative is rounded out, probably will be more willing to not do certain things on the album because you're like, you can do that on the mixtape. This album, we want it to sound specifically like this. This is what we want to relay in emotionally or sonically or whatever the case may be. Let me know. Now, I was saying a lot. Hold on. I want to say the New York Times. Yes, the New York Times. On the line of what we talking about, right? Because overall, I'm thinking about what would get us more songs that are timeless, more songs that have staying power. So that's the thinking along the lines of this entire video is, are there one or two little things that need to be tweaked or changed that could yield a better artist, more or less? Now, New York Times. Now, this video came out last year. And I think they were just a year too early. Keep in mind, this time last year, we were still under the Drake administration. Or we were just, Kendrick had just become king-elect, president-elect, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The transition hadn't happened yet. We call it a Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the coronation, the transition of power from Drake to Kendrick Lamar. But when you look and see what I'm talking about, you're going to be like, you know what? I can see why he would say this is a better topic for now, this year, versus the topic last year. With the conversation being, why do so many rappers not write? You know what I'm saying? Rap is the genre where the writing matters. R&B is where you could be an R&B artist with rap stylistically or hip hop tendencies and get away with the not writing. I think that's kind of like the fence that Drake fans are sitting on, because like Drake is hip hop, unfortunately, but he's kind of poppy too. So it's like, pause just in case, because I just heard it. When I heard it, it sounded terrible. But let me share the screen. New York Times. Why rappers stopped writing. Let me throw the ears on. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, I gotta ask. I have to ask. YouTube wants me to ask. But we smoking. I know you high by now. You gotta be high by now. So through the rest of this video, the likes should be easy. The subscription should be easy. You're high. If you're not high, like, why are you watching me, bro? If you're not high. I don't understand that. But all right, let's go.
I think a lot of people picture like modern rappers who really just like pen and paper in the studio, writing down their raps, you know, figuring it out, scratching it out, changing it.
Yeah, no. We stopped writing a long time ago. Not many people write.
Back in the day when people were just using tape, you just had one take. So everybody had to be on point.
It used to be a time before the 24-track, for instance. If a singer went in, you had to sing that top to bottom, baby. You had to have it figured out.
Most music up until about 20 years ago was always recorded on tape. It's more of a process. It's a lot more laborious, a little bit more tedious.
I've watched Tupac giving a speech. Hey, we have 2 hours of studio time. Come here, people.
We don't have time or the luxury to spend all of this time doing one song. We don't have it.
Fast forward a little bit. Word starts to spread, mid to late 90s that Jay doesn't actually write any of his rhymes down.
I mean, so you literally come in the studio and then formulate sentences in your head.
Yeah.
And then spit it to that beat. Yeah. And you never write down the lyrics.
Never.
Which leads to other rappers wanting to do the same thing.
I found out that Jay wasn't writing. I didn't want to ever see a pen or paper again.
He has class, first in the lunch line. My lunch ticket let me eat rappers at lunch.
What I know is, when you see your hero can jump 7 feet, it makes you want to jump 8.
50 bands on me, 10 out of 10. You telling me you falling out of love with me?
I came up out the trenches, then I had...
Problem is that not all of them are as great or as capable of doing it.
Yeah. Turn me up in my ear. I'm leaving that body. How about this break catching body? How about this break catching body?
God, you ever write raps down?
Hell no.
That's no pen, no pad. They're just going in and punching in.
Punch method.
Punching, recording.
Punching 3 more bars.
I ain't never wrote raps. I just be rapping.
Do you write or
why?
you punching? I punch in. I don't write.
Today, Pro Tools is essentially like the pen and paper.
And that's where it becomes this different type of art form.
It's improvisational versus writing the stand-up piece, you know what I mean?
It's like freehand versus tracing.
Oh, okay.
Keep that part from me. Just punch me in now.
I don't understand none of this. This right here. See why I asked a little while ago? See why I asked if we had a true freestyle, a true mixtape section. It can't just be because I'm old. It can't be because I'm old, right? I feel like I still got some years left in me. I'm only 41.
Now, love it, I'm a made man. My name's Moody Henry Bronson.
The artist might not really have the song written, but they're not necessarily freestyling in the traditional sense where they're just going in and saying the first thing that comes to mind and they're doing that for 4 minutes straight.
You wrote that one more time? I'm trying to think of it. Hold on, I'm trying to think of it. Punching in like saying one bar at a time. I got these resin can't fold in the wallet, you making the pass. I got these resin can't fit in the wallet, I'm stacking a bigger deposit.
Definitely one line at a time.
Hit the store and don't leave in dead bodies. Hit the store and don't leave in dead bodies. Hit the mall and don't leave in dead bodies. Hit the store and don't leave in dead bodies. Then you say the net bar, then you say the bar there, and you play it all together, you sound like a whole sentence. I got these resin can't fit in the wallet, I'm stacking a bigger deposit. Hit the store and don't leave in dead bodies. Book a fly and get higher than high.
They're using punching in as a way to create their rhymes as opposed to a way to correct their rhymes. It's I feel it's really just a generational thing.
But you don't think you could end up with something better if you sometimes wrote some stuff?
No.
It's just not for you.
Nope. That.
Rap has grown, rap has evolved, and there's always good and bad when it comes to evolution. What we're seeing is a lot of the same lane being explored over and over again.
People think, oh, they just rap about this, or they're just rapping about like the easy rhyme scheme or the easy, but to be in a studio and write 5 songs a day, 7 days a week about new topics and make it sound different, it's very, very impressive.
It is a sport. Yeah, it is a sport to it.
Instead of one song for a week, it's 5 songs a night, and you keep it pushing.
Not that artistry isn't appreciated, but it's more so like, all right, how fast are we getting this done?
We don't come under the umbrellas of the people who write raps like J. Cole, Kendrick, Lamar, and I'm just saying that the unprofessional rap culture is what I'm a kid of. Guys who like, I'm just a street cat and I'm rapping.
I'm flipping the knuckle when bought me a gun. I jumped out the poacher and bought me a gun.
I just want a lot of people to know that, like, you're not Jay-Z, you're not a failure.
New York Times, of all places, this is where I found this. Both of them videos gonna be, links to them will be in the description. Check it out. Here's my opinion. For what it's worth. And it ties into, I think, what became the issue. If I had to take one section of this entire video that we just watched, what one line did I take away from it? Instead of making one song, potentially 2, I can make 5. But how many, my thing is, because that means, by default, that means less time is spent on one song. So that means it's not as detailed, right? How can you be as detailed on one song when you just made 5? Let's say you was in the stew like 9 hours. Say 9 hours. 10 hours. You got 5 songs. So each song got 2 hours worth of work. and it was like on to the next. Like maybe that explains why we don't have as many like stickable songs as we should. Like that just 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years later, song's still around. It's still in your ear. You still playing it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't put much effort into the song, so why would my ears just put much effort into loving it? You get what you give, right? So I can appreciate hearing an artist say, man, look, this song took me about a month. What held the album up, man? Like 2 or 3 of the songs on the project, it took some extra time to get them Jones right. And so we had to, that August date turned into November 3rd. You know what I'm saying? But it also, when I watch that, it makes me want to ask this question. If we are hypocrites, are we hypocrites? Because if we go by what I thought was hip hop rules, if you ain't write your shit, I don't want to hear nothing. It could be a dope song, but you can't not write and then try to be the dog, right? That was one of the things we took and kept beating Drake over the head with. Like, man, these reference tracks and whoop whoop whoop, and you know what I'm saying? I want to be fair, regardless how much I hate that dude. Look, we got to keep it a beam. Does it matter? We just watched the whole almost 5-minute video. Does it matter? To me, it does. To me. But I understand at the same time that requires me as a fan to be accepting of getting less music. You know what I'm saying? Something that kept being said like during the battle with Drake and Kendrick. Hey, Drake had never took the time to go inside for a long period of time. He always drop in and do. Okay, well, if you cooking them up like that, plus you getting help from others, they just blessing you with tracks or blessing you with a beat, or you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas it seemed like on the Kendrick side, it was like, well, he cooking. He cooking. So what you want to eat? I can't come outside. Why? I'm cooking. I don't want nothing to burn. I'm cooking. See what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes we be asking for things in a very oxymoron type of way. We want quality, but we want production, but we want it like at a microwave's pace, and that's not plausible. It's not plausible. But that's another reason why I myself am looking forward to see how the rest of this year go under the first year of the Kendrick Lamar administration, because now we have somebody who cares about production, song placement, overall picture of the album. How am I supposed to feel at the end of this thing? What am I supposed to think at the end of this thing? and then goes and it seems like he builds from there. I could be wrong. I don't know, man. This is my third time watching this video, and I kind of do have some semi concerns about just the thought of being able to cook up 5 songs in a day. You know what I'm saying? If you do that 5 days a week, 5 songs, 5 times 5, 25. You got 25 songs. That's 100 songs a month. That's what you get as the artist getting weekends off. It's 100 songs. But I will be interested to know, out of that 100 songs, what's the percentage out of that 100 being hits? 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%, less than that, because you only need 15 for an album. Out of 100 songs, you need to be able to find 15 songs. Somebody do the math on that. What's the math on that? Hold on, I gotta use my hood phone. Well, good phone over there. Shoot. Okay, hold on. Excuse me. All right, we got 100. What is it? 100. Divided by 15. I don't know. However you figure out the number, because it ain't like I'm a math whiz. But that got to be a low percentage. 15. Wait. I think I figured it out. I'm old. I'm gonna take that old thing. 15. Whatever. Anywho. Yeah, my math not mathing right now. But they gotta be, to have all that work in it for it to yield 15 to 18 songs worthy of an album. And they're doing this every month. But you're not putting out an album every month, right? So say you do this for 6 months, you got 600 songs. You need an album. Let's say you want to be an album a year. That's 600 songs. You only need 15 at the most for a record. 15 of your best out of 600. Tell you, we not. Maybe. And this is my hope, because I know we going long already. This is my hope. That the standards that Kendrick Lamar holds for himself and his production by osmosis or whatever may be, trickles down and affects those beneath him who are actually in it to compete. Because all rappers not in it to compete, they're in it for the money. So if they want to turn them out, turn them out. But the ones who want to compete, who don't want to blend in, it's either I'm that dude or nothing. That level of fire to get out here and think it'll do some people some good to go back to that good old writing method. I feel like writing. I mean, I'm not a rapper. I could write many books. I can't write no bars. That ain't my bag. I feel like just even with this show, and I only take like many notes, but I feel like just seeing it helps align things better. I think just seeing stuff visually, you know what I'm saying? How can that ever be a negative? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think. Should writing become more of a thing in hip hop? And if so, or if not, either one, have we been fair this entire time? Because we hold some cats to the standards of, if you ain't writing it, I ain't trying to hear it. And we gave other passes for a long time, knowing, whether it's officially or unofficially, but knowing for the most part that some hits wasn't quite theirs. But with that being said, I'm Oops Great. This is Kush Equilibrium. Appreciate y'all pulling up for another smoke break. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in how y'all feel about on this one, because there seems to not be a definitive answer as to if writing your bars or hell even come up with your own beat in some cases is a priority when it comes to judging the greats or giving people credit that they may not deserve sole ownership of, so to speak. But yeah, I'm Oops Great. This is Kush Equilibrium. Appreciate y'all pulling up smoke with your boy while we talk about this little hip hop thing. On your way out, if you can do them likes, comments, subscriptions, all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? I would have definitely appreciate it. And let me get this chopped up and do my thing and get to see y'all, man. Appreciate you.